in the squadron. They called him Bullets, but we call him Greg Kelly. Greg Kelly is on the air
on the Red Apple Podcast Network.
Well, even though they're jumping up and down like crazy all over the place, I feel like this war could be over. Now, this is a major thing right now. Iran just said anybody can pass through the Strait of Hormuz except America and Israel. Now, that sounds terrible for America and Israel, but it's not, all right? We don't get any of our oil from over there anymore, and neither does Israel. Israel uses another pipeline system from like Azerbaijan. They don't have ships going through the Persian Gulf, and even if we did, guess what? Even though the oil, if it were coming from there, it wouldn't matter. It wouldn't matter. Our ships are actually under like different flags. They're under Maltese. They're under Malaysia. They're under all kinds of crazy countries all over the world. We don't have any bona fide American vessels over there. Even like the cruise ships from American companies. Or you ever notice? They're always based somewhere else. Singapore, Barbados. I don't know why that is. It has something to do with, they're a little bit less litigious or something like that. I don't know why that is, but that is. Hey, do me a favor. If we can, I want to go to President Trump at the White House right now. They're talking about the Kennedy Center, but they're blowing off the Kennedy Center because they're going to talk about Iraq. I have this little piece of information, a little piece of news. Susie Wiles, the chief of staff, the first female chief of staff ever, has been diagnosed with breast cancer. So I would imagine she is going to be leaving that job pretty much immediately. Hope she gets better. Definitely. I wonder if this is related to the other thing, but with the other thing, I'll get back to you. Are we ready with the...
It may not stay that way. Just one simple word and the pipes will be gone too, but it'll take a long time to rebuild that. We are aggressively dismantling Iran's defense industrial base, and ability to rebuild its missiles and drone capability is getting down to close to zero. And we're hammering their capacity to threaten commercial shipping in the Strait of Hormuz with more than 30 mine-laying ships destroyed. We hit, to the best of our knowledge, all of their mine-laying ships. Now they can put them on other types of ships, I guess, and drop them in. But we don't know that any have even been dropped in. We're not sure that any have been. That's a big negative for them if they do it. It's a form of suicide. But we don't know that they have dropped any in. But we've hit all 30 of their ships and destroyed them. They're all at the bottom of the sea. We strongly encourage other nations whose economies depend on the Strait far more than ours. You know, we get less than 1% of our oil from the Strait, and some countries get much more. Japan gets 95%. China gets 90%. Many of the Europeans get quite a bit. South Korea gets 35%. So we want them to come and help us with the Strait. We have it in very good shape. The countries, I said, we've already taken care of Iran, but now, because of the fact that literally a single terrorist can put something in the water or shoot something or shoot a missile, a small missile, and it's fairly close range because it is a tight area, and which is one of the reasons they've always used that as a weapon. Iran has always used that as an economic weapon, and it's not going to be able to be used very long. Numerous countries have told me they're on the way. Some are very enthusiastic about it, and some aren't. Some are countries that we've helped for many, many years. We've protected them from horrible outside sources, and they weren't that enthusiastic. And the level of enthusiasm matters to me. We have some countries where we have 45,000 soldiers, great soldiers, protecting them from harm's way. And we have done a great job. And when we want to know, do you have any minesweepers? Well, would rather not get involved, sir. I said, for 40 years we're protecting you, and you don't want to get involved in something that is very minor. Very few shots going to be taken because they don't have many shots left. But they said, would rather not get involved. I just want the fake news media and everybody else to remember that was said, because when And I've been a big critic of all of the protecting of countries because I know that we'll protect them. And if we ever needed help, they won't be there for us. I've just known that for a long period of time. Just like I knew about the Strait, that it would be a weapon, which I predicted a long time ago, predicted all of this stuff. You guys were very generous in that. I predicted all of it. I predicted Osama bin Laden would knock out the World Trade Center. I made that prediction a year before he did it. I said, you better get him. He's a bad guy. I watched him be interviewed one time, and I said, that's a bad guy. You better get him. 1 year before, exactly. I wrote it in a book. You can even check. About a year before the World Trade Center then came down, President Clinton actually had a shot at him, and he didn't take it. Unfortunately, I'm not blaming him for that, but he didn't take it. And he ended up knocking down the World Trade Center, but I predicted that too. I predicted a lot of things. We strongly encourage other nations whose economies depend on the Strait for blood. I mean, these people literally need it. 95% of their energy or their oil comes out of the Strait, and they should be in here very happily helping us. And it's incredible. We have such we're number one in oil by double now. We drill, baby, drill. We're double any other nation, and it's going to be soon triple any other nation. And that doesn't include Venezuela, who's been great. By the way, the relationship with Venezuela has been fantastic. Literally millions of barrels of oil are being taken out, and it's been a great help, and it's been to their great benefit. The president has done a really good job. We get along with him really well. But we've taken out millions of barrels of oil and brought to Houston and other places to the refineries. We have refineries set up specifically for that. And it's been a great relationship, and more and more is happening. It's a tremendous oil source, and we're stepping it up very rapidly. The big companies are going in, and they will actually numbers in a pretty short period of time, numbers that they've never been able to do. We'll be doing. There's a lot of oil under that land. We strongly encourage the other nations to get involved with us and get involved quickly and with great enthusiasm. I have that from a number of them, and I'd like to say their names, but frankly, I don't know if they would want me to or not, because maybe they don't want to be targeted. But I say, wouldn't matter if you're targeted or not, because this is a paper tiger that we're dealing with now. It wasn't a paper tiger 2 weeks ago. It's a paper tiger now. So now we're going to get down to the reason. We'll take a couple of questions in a moment, but we're going to get down to the reason we're here today. Actually, this was set up a long time ago. It's the Trump Kennedy Center. Over the past year, we've made incredible strides to restore the true purpose and prestige of this revered institution. Together, we're going to ensure it remains the finest performing arts facility of its kind anywhere in the world. And I don't know that it ever really reached that stage, but it will over a period of time. We're rebuilding it. It's in very, very bad condition. It's been it's been somewhat of a disaster, to be honest with you. It's been let go to hell. That's what they've done. They did a poor job. They spent money in the wrong places. They built some theaters underneath that nobody uses, little ones, tiny theaters that cost $300 million. And the money was spent incorrectly and wrong. We're dealing with some networks on the possibility of renting those little theaters. Nobody's going to use them. They want the big halls. The halls are going to be incredible. They're in bad shape, but when they're completed, the bones are potentially something that could be unbelievable. So I want to, before we begin, I want to thank Rick Grinnell. He's been a friend of mine for a long time. He's been unbelievable. He was the ambassador, as you know, to Germany. There was no happier woman in the world than Angela Merkel. Angela. She called me, thank you, sir, thank you. although she liked Rick a lot, there was nobody happier that he was no longer going to be the ambassador to Germany. He was difficult for them. He was not your typical ambassador. He was the opposite. He would do what was best for the United States, not for Germany. And I want to tell you, he did a great job. So good that I put him in charge of a thing called intelligence. And something he didn't really want to do, but he did it, and he did it incredibly well. There were a lot of leakers. He found
Rick
out
Grinnell, he's a buddy of mine.
And when he didn't find out who the leaker was in a certain area, he fired everybody. And he went into one room where there was leaks coming out. These are long-term problems that these various places have had. And he said, who's the one that leaked this? And they wouldn't admit it, so he fired the whole room. And he did a good job. I'll tell you, he was very good. And during this transition period, I asked Rick if he would run it, because we wanted to see. And if you remember when we first took it over, I didn't do it with enthusiasm. I did it because somebody had to do it, had to turn it around, because it was failing. It would have closed, and physically it would have almost fallen down. It was in very bad shape. The steel columns outside, as an example, were meant to be covered. You know, exposed steel is unusual to have in building. What I do best in life is build. I build buildings really well and under budget and ahead of schedule. That's what I do. Unlike the Fed building, which is going to cost billions of dollars. It may never open. I mean, right now, we have a wonderful a wonderful new head of the Fed coming in. I don't know if he'll ever be able to occupy this complex. It was destroyed by Jerome Too Late Powell. I call him too late because he's always too late with interest. Should cut interest rates. He should cut them right now. They should have a special meeting. What's a better time to cut interest rates than now? A third grade student would know that. But that's a terrible thing. But what I do is build. I build great stuff. And what we're going to do is, right outside. In fact, if you look behind me, see the nice gold curtains?
All right, they're getting out. They're getting out. I think they're getting out, right?
See a lot of work, very deep, very, very deep for specific reasons. We have
he's kind of cool.
Magnificent ballroom being built, because this is the biggest room.
All right, let's stay with it.
And it holds like 98 people for dinner. But behind me, you're going to have a ballroom that this building and the people occupying it, in particular, every president for 150 years has clamored for a ballroom, a large, beautiful room. This is a cocktail room, and this whole floor will end up being a cocktail room for the cocktail area or pre-area for the ballroom before dinners. So we'll have heads of state. We can't even do a heads of state dinner. Usually what they do is they would do them on the lawn with a tent. But when it rains, the lawn is very low. And you know the land in Washington. It was built on swampy, wet land. And when it rains and you have the king of Saudi Arabia, we have, as an example, the king of the UK, I would say king of England. It was a great guy. He's coming in very soon. And when it rains, you know what happened? The rain would go over their feet. It would be about 4 or 5 inches over their shoes. This was not good. And it rained a lot. So we're building, finally, because I do that. And by the way, no taxpayer money. I want to put that, zero. It's on time, on budget. It'll be under budget. We're having it under budget, other than we've upgraded it in terms of the marbles we're using. We're using onyx and stones that are incredible. But it'll be something really spectacular. I'm looking at Mr. Steve Wynn, who's over there. He built a spectacular building, and he knows Trump builds a spectacular building. I build better buildings than him. I don't care what he said. But Steve is over here, and he really, with his incredible wife, Andrea, and thank you both for being here. Andrea is on the board, and Steve is so in love with his wife, he asked whether or not he could come. And I can say the same thing for the great Bob Kraft. He's got a wife that's so wonderful. He said, do you think I could come? She didn't have to accept that, She could have said no. But Bob said, I would like to come. So, Bob, we will not let you vote. Although his vote would be a good vote. He will vote for the proper thing. But it's good to have you both here. These are two great couples that know a lot about the things I'm talking about, like fixing, whether it's building a stadium or building a building. They know how to do it. So thank you, Steve, very much. But we've made incredible strides over the past year. If you remember, I said I want to run it for a year just to see, because the place is falling down. It's horrible. Air conditioning, heating is going to be ripped out in its entirety, and it needs new. It's old. It's, how many years is it, Rick? What's the total? 50, almost, over 50. And we have 50-year-old air conditioning, more than that, actually. And it's in bad shape. Everything's...
I don't know about you guys, but I find this stuff fascinating. The asides and the background, and it's worth listening to the entire thing when you can. Because you pick up little gems, and you see how things are also misrepresented or not represented at all. And hearing his depth of experience and knowledge, and onyx. They're going to use onyx because it's better than flat marble. Flat marble is okay, but it get you in trouble after 5 years. All that stuff. Who knew? I love hearing a master of craft discussing it with people who don't know. All right, but Iran is the big deal, and we won this damn thing. I mean, he's not wrong. We won it. Iran blinked. Hallelujah. We'll be right back.
Greg Kelly.
Let's go, Brandon.
On the Red Apple Podcast Network.
Greg Kelly.
On the Red Apple Podcast Network.
Oh, I almost forgot. The Oscars were last night. We had a great party here at WABC. We really did. It was very, very nice. All kinds of food, fantastic people. I had absolutely no idea about the movies that were in contention. What is the movie that actually won? One bad thing after another. One thing after another. One best thing after another. Who the hell knows? Nobody saw any of these movies. One battle after another. The story focuses on a raid on an immigration detention facility. Oh boy, I have an idea where this is going. Highlighting oppressive border control, systemic racism, and the role of Latino labor. Let me think about this. Let's see. Did they make a political speeches when they got up there and they got their trophy? I bet they did, but who knows? Isn't that the movie that, I don't know. I was going to say, was Leonardo DiCaprio in it? Maybe he was. He generally makes good movies, but I don't think I've seen a movie of his in 10 years? When did Wolf of Wall Street come out? 12 years ago? 14 years ago? Nobody watches movies anymore. You don't go to the movies. I used to like going to the movies, but it all changed after COVID. Thanks a lot. We gave up so much freedom. We will never, ever, ever do that again. But it's interesting, we're not asked to sacrifice pretty much anything these days, right? We don't sacrifice much. Oh my gosh, the gas prices are going to go up. What in the hell? They better not. Here goes President Trump's approval rating down. I mean, what they were asking people to do during World War II, right? Turn out their lights at night. Rationing, you get a special coupon book. You can only buy milk and cheese on Tuesdays. That kind of sacrifice, you need national unity to have that kind of sacrifice. And that kind of sacrifice brings on national unity. We don't have that anymore. People about to launch a coup because their gas prices go up. Give me a break. Hey, take a look at what's actually in your grocery basket. Think about all the junk that you buy. Right? That's in that grocery basket. You don't have to spend money on that. And President Trump is right. The kids are spoiled in America with too many toys. Junky toys from China. Too many. Do we have the Oscar moment? We want to hear it? All right. This is the moment that the big movie won. We were all rooting for Marty Supreme about the ping pong. John Katzimatidis is in that movie. Great, great, great performer. Timothy Chalamet. Go ahead, please.
The Oscar goes to One Battle After Another.
Nominated for 13 Academy Awards. One battle after another won 6 Oscars tonight for casting, actor in a supporting role, adapted screenplay, film editing, directing, and Best Picture.
$85 people take to the stage. 85. The movie's woke. This is like at 11:30 last night, right? They always have it too late.
Okay. Thank you. Getting to make this film with this cast and this crew and Paul has already been the greatest filmmaking experience I can fathom, so receiving this award is just beyond. My heart is exploding with gratitude. Thank you. Thank you to Mikey.
I bet it was more fun to make Star Wars.
At Warner Brothers. Thank you to Brian Lord. Thank you to my producing partners, Adam Sumner, Will Weisky, Erica Frauman. I share this with you. Thank you to my family, all four of my parents, my beautiful brothers, Fanny, Josh, Ryan. I love you. I'm grateful for you. Polly!
Yeah, okay. I just want to say that in 1975, the Oscar nominees for Best Picture were Dog Day Afternoon, One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest, Jaws, Nashville, and Barry Lyndon. There is no best among them. There is just what the mood might be that day. But we're happy to be part of this. A wonderful, wonderful journey with our fellow nominees.
All right, hey, stop. He makes a good point about 1975, 50 years ago. All of those movies, except Nashville, all those movies still kick ass. People will go watch those. They'll see them on DVD or whatever. Well, we don't have DVD. People still talk about those movies. Nobody talks about these movies. They were weird. Now, we got what do they call it? The trailer all queued up. We're going to take sometimes you can tell whether the movie is good or not just by listening to the trailer. All right, let's give that a shot. Let's see what happens.
What I'm doing here is I'm creating a closed circuit. Very important to keep your cap shunted like this.
It's a bomb.
So you don't accidentally detonate your charge.
Don't stop. I want you to create a show. This is an announcement, a revolution. The message is clear.
I'll be seeing you very soon.
And not if I see you first.
We'll
bring justice to the vigilante group known as the French 75. We are here to award Stephen Lockjaw with the Medal of Honor.
Stop for a second. You know, watching this thing, guess who the good guys are? Guess who the bad guys are? The bad guys are law enforcement. The good guys are the terrorists, it looks like. Keep going.
You have to understand, me and Mom used to run around and do some real bad. They got hurt. Now they're coming after us. Sorry.
I didn't ask for this. That's just how the cards were rolled out for me.
It's not cards. You don't roll cards. It's dice.
Dad, what is wrong with you?
You're right. Let's go. I got a tunnel. Oh, what's going on? I need a weapon, man. All you got is goddamn nunchucks here. You know where I can get a gun?
The man is arresting everybody.
From all your mom's stuff, from all my stuff, even though I know that's impossible. This is the end of the line. Not for you. Whoa, who's this?
Oh, they're just my friends.
Now, is that a he or a she or a they?
It's not that hard. They, them.
Okay, I just want to be polite.
Keep running, jump into aqueducts, fire hydrants and hazardous smoke alarms on the back of us. But mama, don't cry for me, rap for me, trap for me, live for me, breathe for me, sing for me.
Yo, say it. Say it, baby.
Love you, Bob.
Love you too. You know what freedom is? No fear. Just like Tom Cruise.
No idea what the hell that's all about. Most of it was people jumping into and out of cars while they were moving, right? And people yelling at each other. And very bad, ominous-looking pieces of people in military hardware. Yeah, and is that entertainment? I don't know. Hey, I found a new book. It's called The Green Book, The Little Green Book, and it's done by a guy named Muammar Gaddafi's cousin, and that is Ayatollah Khomeini. Ayatollah Khomeini wrote a book called The Little Green Book. And in this freaking book, there are some crazy, crazy, crazy things. And this is what governs, to this day, Iranian society. Pretty bizarre stuff. For instance, all right, if a woman sins, okay, and you're putting her to death, well, you got to do something before you put her to death. You have to rape her. It's a spiritual obligation to rape the person you're killing for whatever the hell she did, because virgins can't get into heaven. So you're going to do her a favor on the way out by raping her. So, and they justify it because she'll get to heaven that way. All kinds of little, crazy little tips like that. In Ayatollah Khomeini's Green Book, which you can still buy. It's still in circulation. It's like it's required reading in Iran. I don't know if the people of Iran actually pay much attention to it, but the theocrats do. There's a rumor going around that the new Ayatollah is gay. Did you hear about that? Yes, he's gay. And the only debate right now is he gay and dead or is he gay and alive? No one's seen him. He's putting out these edicts. He's putting out all kinds of statements. In the meantime, for whatever reason, we have allowed the foreign minister of Iran to live. He lives at this moment. And he's going on TV shows and he's like, thank you for having me, Bridget, and thank you for having me, Morning Joe. Abbas Aragashi is his name. And here he is on the Face the Nation, or Deface the Nation, as some people call it. Cut 12, please. Cut 12.
President Trump said this weekend he is not ready to make a deal with Iran because the terms aren't good enough yet. His administration is saying this war could last another 3.5 weeks or so. Has Iran asked for a ceasefire?
No, we never asked for a ceasefire.
Begged for a ceasefire.
We have never asked even for negotiation. We are ready to defend ourselves as long as it takes. And this is what we have done so far, and we continue to do that until President Trump comes to the point that this is an illegal war with no victory, and there are people being killed only because President Trump wants to have fun. This is what he has said.
Have fun?
We are not. Yes, this is what he said, that they are sinking, ships and targeting different places because it is fun. And the Secretary of War has said that there is no mercy. Mm-hmm. And this is actually a war crime. Even saying that is a war crime. So this is a war of choice by President Trump and the United States, and we are going to continue our self-defense.
Well, we have allowed him to live because we think we can do business with him. That's the reason why he's still alive, and maybe we can. He's a clever little guy. I already told you how I feel about Hegseth and the stuff that he's been saying. And not only that, the way he's been saying it. He comes across kind of like they say on SNL, like a drunk, right? Nobody has to worry about what's going on in the Strait of Hormuz. Don't worry about it. We know what we're doing. It's way too defensive. The Secretary of Defensive. That's what it sounds like to me. And the stuff that he said about, how did he put it? It's the trash talk. You don't trash talk your enemy. You actually have to respect your enemy. All right, if you don't mind, let's try the White House again. Okay, let's see what's going on there.
Another great. You're not on the board either, Anthony. You're here with your wife? What's going on here? The most successful people, they're all here with their wives. I'm looking around. Wow, that's impressive. Anthony's another one. He started off with one truck. He had one truck 45 years ago. He ended up with 4,000 trucks. And he sold his company for billions of dollars. And you're here, Anthony? He's a member of one of my clubs, and all he has is cash. He said, I have a big problem, sir. What? I don't know how to invest my cash. Most people have a problem. They don't have any cash, right? Anyway, thank you, Anthony. You're the greatest. So all of these people have done so much, and they've done so much to help. And Matt, I'm here
all right,
to
I think we're going to have to take a break. I love
everything.
all this stuff. I got to find out who Anthony is, right? We'll help him out with his money. All right, these are just kind of warming up the crowd. We'll have questions when we come back. We estimate, so we'll be right back.
Greg Kelly
on the Red Apple Podcast Network.
Greg Kelly, entertaining and informative
on the Red Apple Podcast Network.
All right, I got to go back because this war could be over in 3 days. We're going to go back to the White House right now. There's President Trump, and now he's talking war stuff, okay?
And I'll say, why are we protecting countries that don't protect us? And I've always felt that was a weakness of NATO. We were going to protect them, but I always said, when in need, they won't protect us. Now, this isn't need. Need would be one of the big boys. But I will say that we built the greatest military in the world, and we protect people. And if we need their mine boats, or if we need anything, any piece of apparatus that they may have because of a situation that they have, they should be jumping to help us, because we've helped them for years stay out of wars. Yeah, please.
Thank you very much, Mr. President. Can you tell us if you spoken with French President Macron about the coalition to reopen the Strait of Hormuz? Have you been speaking with the French President?
What does that mean?
Have you been speaking with the French President Macron about the coalition to reopen the Strait of Hormuz?
Yeah, I have spoken to him. He's been on a scale of 0 to 10. I'd say he's been an 8. Not perfect, but it's France.
Are you
we don't expect perfect.
Are you confident that France will help with the reopening of Strait of Hormuz?
Yeah, I mean, sure. I think he's going to help. I mean, I'll let you know. I spoke to him yesterday. I don't do a hard sell on them, because my attitude is we don't need anybody. We're the strongest nation in the world. We have the strongest military by far in the world. We don't need them. But it's interesting. I'm almost doing it in some cases, not because we need them, but because I want to find out how they react. Because I've been saying for years that if we ever did need them, they won't be there. Not all of them, but they won't be there. I was very surprised with the United Kingdom, because the United Kingdom, 2 weeks ago, I said, why don't you send some ships over? And he really didn't want to do it. I said, you don't want to do it. We've been with you. You're our oldest ally. And we spend a lot of money on, NATO and all of these things to protect you. I mean, we're protecting them. We're working with them on Ukraine. Ukraine's thousands of miles away, separated by a vast ocean. We don't have to do that, but we did it. Well, Biden did it. I mean, I have to be honest with you. Biden got taken to the cleaners. But we worked with them in Ukraine. We don't need to work with them in Ukraine. And then they tell us that we have a mine ship around, and they don't want to do it. I think it's terrible. No, I was very surprised. I told him, we requested 2 aircraft carriers, which they had, and he didn't really want to do it. And then right after the war essentially ended, meaning they were obliterated, he said, I would like to send the aircraft carriers. I said, I don't need them after the war has ended and won. I need it before the war. So I was very upset I was not happy with the UK. I think they'll be involved, yeah, maybe. But they should be involved enthusiastically. We've been protecting these countries for years with NATO, because NATO is us. You can ask Putin. Putin fears us. He has no fear of Europe whatsoever. He fears the United States of America and the military that was built by me in the first term. Yeah.
Thank you, Mr. President. You mentioned the significant amount of oil that China derives from the Middle East. What is the status of your conversation with President Xi in terms of getting China to cooperate, in terms of making the Strait of Hormuz safe for those oil tankers?
Yeah, so China is a great example. They get 91% of their oil from the Hormuz Straits, which we protected for years. And it always bothered me that we have these countries. Japan gets 95% of its from the Straits, the Hormuz Straits. And It always bothered me that we're protecting and we don't need them. We didn't need them before we started dig we must. Dig me must. That's the Trump policy of lots of oil. And we didn't use them very much. It used to be at 10%. Now it's at almost zero. We don't need oil. We have all the oil we need for ourselves. It's one of the great assets that we have. We have more than double what anybody else in terms of oil production. We're at more than double any other country. So we don't need it, but we did it. It's almost, you could say we did it out of habit, which is not a good thing to do. But we did it because we have some good allies there. We have some great Middle Eastern countries there, Israel there. So we did it for a lot of reasons. But it always amazed me that we did it. We never asked for reimbursement. And it was really there to serve other countries, not us. And by the way, we have the Sugar King. The same story. Look at that. Alfie von Hool. Alfie, thank you both very much. Peppy. That's Peppy here. Peppy. Hi, Peppy. How are you? How are you? Is Alfie in the backstage? Huh? Is he sitting back there waiting for you? No? You doing all right? Peppy is a great friend of all of ours, I think, in the room. Tremendous. Sugar. And we appreciate you being here. Great to have you. Thank you.
Mr. President, honored.
That's great. Both of you, thank you very much. So, go ahead, please.
Thank you, Mr. President. Mr. President, you've said that Iran does want to make a deal. Now, into the third week of this bombing campaign, what would that deal look like? What are the asks that you're making of the government?
They want to make
a
deal. They're talking to our people. I don't know if they say that to you. Maybe they do, maybe they don't. Don't forget, they are a country that for years, I didn't know this until recently, they're a country based on disinformation. And now they're using disinformation plus AI. And that's a terrible situation. That's a terrible situation. They showed all sorts of things happening in the last 2 weeks that never happened. Between their kamikaze boats that don't exist, between blowing up the aircraft carrier, one of the great ships in the world, the Abraham Lincoln, on fire. They showed it on fire. I called the general. I said, General, what's with the Abraham Lincoln? It looks like it's burning down. No, it's not burning down. Not a bullet was ever fired at it, sir. They know better. I said, this is my first glimpse of AI and what they've done with it. They showed buildings in Tel Aviv burning to the ground, high-rises burning. They showed buildings in Qatar. They showed buildings in Saudi Arabia burning, and they weren't burning. They weren't hit. It was all AI-based. Terrible. It's terrible. And I think that's the only thing they do well. They're negotiating, and we always talk. Somebody said, well, would you talk? Why would you even talk to them? I talk to everybody, because sometimes good things come out of it. But I don't know if they're ready yet. They're taking a pounding. I don't know if they're ready yet. And we don't even know their leaders. Look, all of their leaders are dead, as far as we know. But they're all dead. We don't know who we're dealing with. We knocked out the first group. Then the second group met to pick the leader, because the first group was all dead. And the second group got knocked out. They're all dead. Then a third group met. I would think they're a little nervous about meeting. I don't know if they're nervous. Maybe they're not. Maybe they're crazy. If they're not nervous, then they're crazy. But we met with the next group, but we don't know who their leader is. We have people wanting to negotiate. We have no idea who they are. Yeah, please, Peter.
Thanks, President Trump. What are your advisors telling you about the Ayatollah's son, the new supreme leader? What are they telling you about him?
Well, it's not only them, it's you people. I mean, a lot of people are saying that he's badly disfigured. They're saying that he lost his leg, one leg, and he's, been hurt very badly. Other people are saying he's dead. Nobody's saying he's 100% healthy. And he hasn't spoken, because the Ayatollah would sit and he'd spew hate from...
He's getting the news from the news.
I like the English.
But he also gets some great intel. All right, we're keeping an eye on this. We have to take a very quick break. I shall return with POTUS, President of the United States, Trump.
This one we haven't seen at all. So that could be for a lot of different reasons. We don't know, Peter, if he's dead or not.
Now that you've announced...
I will say there's nobody's seen him, which is unusual.
Something else. Now that you've announced that the U.S. has destroyed all of Iran's mine-laying ships, why can't the U.S. just immediately reopen the Strait of Hormuz?
Well,
Thanks for listening to The Greg Kelly Show. You can hear The Greg Kelly Show weekdays at 12:15 on 77 WABC. If you like the podcast, share it with your friends and listen anytime at WABCRadio.com and download the WABC Radio app. Hit that subscribe button on all major podcast platforms. Plus, follow WABC on social on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, and X. See you next time for a new episode so you never have to wonder.
What the heck is going on here?